soldier of the Karabakh Defense Army was fatally wounded by the shots fired by Azerbaijani side at a military outpost in the northern direction of the line of contact. Artyom Khachatryan, born in 1999, was killed at around 5:05 p.m. Thursday. An investigation has been launched, the Defense Army said in a statement. According to the Military Registration Office of Armenia's Vayots Dzor Province, this military serviceman was from Malishka village of this province and was going to be demobilized in 20 days. The Armenian Investigation Committee on Friday initiated a criminal case on the murder of the soldier, and the Artsakh President signed a decree posthumously awarding this soldier with the Medal of Service for Battle in recognition of his bravery during the defense of the Artsakh state border. Russian Ambassador Sergei Kopyrkin on Thursday visited the office of Armenia's second president Artyom Khachatryan and met with him. The talk reportedly lasted more than an hour and was held in a tete-a-tete format. According to the statement issued by the Russian embassy on Friday, the meeting was held within scheduled meetings with representatives of political and business circles. As part of his regular meetings with representatives of the socio-political and business circles, the extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of Russia to Armenia, Sergei Kopyrkin, met with the second president of Armenia, Artyom Khachatryan, the statement said. The next meeting of the foreign ministers of Armenia and Azerbaijan is scheduled to take place on June the 20th in Washington, D.C. under the auspices of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs, the Armenian Ministry of Foreign Affairs press service reported. Following the meetings held in Paris in January and in Moscow in April, consideration was given to hold the next meeting of the foreign ministers in the third co-chair country, United States. As it was before, this time as well, the participants agreed to announce the meeting simultaneously. Armenia respects that agreement, the statement said in part. Two more members of Armenia's Supreme Judicial Council, a state body overseeing the country's courts, have resigned on Thursday and Friday. Accordingly, Supreme Judicial Council members Artyom Khachatryan and Sergei Megryan have submitted their resignations. In his letter of resignation, Megryan asked to consider his powers terminated during the upcoming session of the Council, providing parliamentary forces to complement, through a transparent procedure, the Council with another member who has experience, high professional qualities, is publicly perceivable, and has the ability to act independently. The second Partnership Council meeting between the European Union and Armenia took place Thursday in Brussels, the Armenian Ministry of Foreign Affairs press service reported. The Council reaffirmed the commitment of the EU and Armenia to implement effectively the Comprehensive and Enhanced Partnership Agreement, the CEPA. The CEPA implementation roadmap, adopted by Armenia on June the 1st, following consultations with civil society, was welcomed by the Council as an important tool underpinning reforms in the country. The Council welcomed the current efforts aiming at comprehensive judicial reform in Armenia in accordance with the Armenian Constitution and with international standards. To improve the mobility of citizens and people-to-people contacts, the EU and Armenia will continue promoting the mobility of citizens through a visa facilitation and the readmission agreements, and consider in due course the opening of a visa liberalization dialogue, provided that conditions for well-managed and secure mobility are in place. Finally, the Council discussed regional and international issues. The EU reiterated its support to the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs' efforts aimed at finding a peaceful solution to the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. The EU stands ready to support initiatives aimed at overcoming the conflict divide and preparing the populations for peace. On Syria, the Council gave its strong backing to the work of the UN Special Envoy for the resumption of the intra-Syrian talks in Geneva. On Turkey, the EU reiterated its support for the normalization of Armenia-Turkey relations and stressed the need for both sides to engage in this process without preconditions. And Armenia reiterated its long-standing position on establishing diplomatic relations with Turkey without preconditions. During the press conference, EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said she would never compare the work of the present Armenian government with the previous one. Nice try, but I would never compare one government with another. I can clearly and definitely assess the work done during this year and several months with the incumbent authorities as excellent, she said. U.S. Congresswoman member of the Armenian caucus, Jackie Speier, has called on the U.S. government to allocate $40 million to Armenia. In her remarks, Speier stated that impressive changes have taken place in Armenia over the past year. The revolution in Armenia was followed by fair elections that helped bring Nikol Pashinyan to power. Recently, his administration signed a 2 to 3 year $60 million agreement with the U.S. government for economic growth and improvement of public administration. Although we can applaud these efforts, they are not enough. The U.S. supports those changes and provide resources, the Congresswoman said. The International Federation of Association Football (FIFA) has issued its new world ranking. Accordingly, the Armenian national squad have climbed 9 spots and are currently 97th in the FIFA standings. The team's once 30th ranking, however, was a record-breaking high for the country.